What would you do if you had to leave your home with just the bare necessities to survive? War, economic collapse, social collapse, nuclear war, disease. What would you do? Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan for you and your family to get up and get going and stay alive, to flee? Well, I do. I'm going to show it to you right now. So, here we are. You've seen my preps. You've seen how I prep my food in a pail for upwards of a month to sustain myself. So basically my plan of action is if anything were to happen in any survival situation or prepping situation where I had to flee and I had to leave my property, I have a plan in place. It's no different than having like at your workplace or a school, having a fire alarm practice all the time to make sure that you know where you're going, what you're doing, and the procedures that you're going to take. So mine are basically get up, out of bed. I have my site within driving distance of my home. It's very secluded, it's very private, nobody knows it's there. It's got forageable items, it's got huntable items, huntable animals. I've got lots of wood in that location, and basically it's a very good spot. I've picked a spot. So here's something to remember. When Ukraine got invaded by the Russians, the Ukrainian government was actually televising and making broadcasts to the people saying, we are probably going to get invaded very, very soon. We strongly recommend that you go out and find yourself a location in a forested area in the bush and get it set up as a flee site. Fleeing meaning you're going to flee. You're going to go there and you're going to survive with your family or yourself. They recommended that to their people to do that, and a lot of them did it, and it kept a lot of them alive. Because as a last resort, if your country's going to get invaded, or you're battling even people in your own country where there's an economic breakdown or a social breakdown, and people need food and people need shelter, they want what you have, you got to be able to flee and get out of there. And have what you need to survive for a various amount of time, depending, let things cool over. So that's my plan. I have it in place, and I always keep that in the back of my mind. Worst case scenario, I got to get up out of bed, I got to grab all my stuff, and I got to get going. So the easiest, simplest way that I have is to make a site close by, relatively close by, which is very, very private. I also have another spot set up where I can actually, if that spot was discovered, I can grab my flea bag, which sounds funny, and throw that on my shoulders, grab 2 buckets, which is probably going to be my medic pail and probably going to be a month's worth of food, and I'm going to boogie with my gun and my ammo, and I'm out of there on foot, and I have another location I can actually burrow down into a survival shelter that's already made. So my plan of attack: get up, get my buggy, get my flea vehicle, get my bug out vehicle on the go, get to my location, get set up, and then from there I'm coasting. I'm just surviving. So let me show you, like I promised you I would, I'll show you my bug out vehicle, my bug out setup. So as you can see, I've got this mint condition. We actually just redid this. I think it's an 84 Moto 4, 250cc. Drives quite easily to the spot that I need it to go to. Always full tank of gas, ready to rock. Got the gun on the front for whatever reason I might need. And this is the bug out vehicle. We call this the Super Tramper because we tramp around in this thing, actually my son and I, quite a bit. But this is the setup. Everything folds up. This heavy duty army tarp, I kind of custom fit it so it would go around the whole shelter to camouflage it. And then when I'm at my flea location and set up, I just drop these Y branches underneath the metal poles, tie them off to the ground, and I have a nice external place to get underneath and stay out of the elements. This is kind of the underside here. And this is it. This fits 2 people comfortably, well, depending on your comfort level. Down here's a pot. I always keep this tarp kind of draped like that so that I can collect water in it. Works quite well. So I always have potable, drinkable water with a big pot to boil stuff in, boil my water if I'm getting it from maybe a spoiled source or whatnot. Have my flea bag ready right there. So that's my bug out bag. That's a totally different video with a totally different set of explanations. 1 axe, 1 knife, 1 saw. Come over, go inside. Box full of ammo, always ready to go. Medic pail, ready to go. Sleeping for 1 underneath. Underneath right now I've got 5 pails full of food, so that's roughly 4 to 5 months worth of food for 1 person, or 2 months for 2. Up here, my sleeping quarters, which is great. I've got bear spray, solar lights, and I'm dry and completely out of the elements. This here, this comes off if I want to get a bit more airflow through it. Down around this side, again, you can pull this out if you want another area, say to cook. But again, offers really nice waterproofing for the box itself, and then allows you to camouflage at the same time. And then nothing too crazy up in here. It's just, this thing just hooks onto my 2-inch ball on my bike. Hot days, she gets pretty hot in here, so I made this little door with a screen on it. I can close shut, and yeah, keep you a little more secluded, and then obviously keep you warmer. I'm just airing it out right now. It's because it's been sitting quite dormant for the summertime. So this is what I would grab if I was in a situation where I had to flee to safety to my bug out location. This is my setup, that I would basically just hop in this thing. Everything would be ready to go, folded down, drive, away we go. And then if the situation was compromised with the location, I'd grab this bag, and I would flee on foot to wherever I needed to go with my gun and a couple pails of food. So yeah, that's the video for today. Thanks for tuning in, putting up with the long-windedness and my sometimes not great vocabulary. But as a survivalist, as a homesteader, as a prepper, this is what I've done to survive, to give myself some peace of mind up here, and knowing that if something went wrong or went bad, at least I have a plan, and it's very simple, and it's something I can carry out on my own. So I hope it helps. If you can pull one tidbit of information out of anything I've rambled on about today, then I've succeeded. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in. It's a beautiful day in Northern Ontario, Canada here today, as you can tell. And I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of it. Okay. Happy prepping, happy surviving, happy homesteading, happy off-gridding, or just happy doing whatever you're doing. Okay, we'll see you soon with another video. Thanks.